In the previous couple of videos, we actually tried figuring out the enrollments in the course, and then we tried to figure out the total scores achieved inside that course. In this video, we will try to figure out the average marks that the students have achieved per course. So if you are proficient enough or if you are comfortable enough with the transformations, you don't really need to work around with these two first. The reason why I break it down in the 2 steps, and actually the 3 steps, just to get you guys comfortable that, okay, firstly we need to get the count, then we need to get the sum, and then we can calculate the average of it. So in this video, we will firstly try to combine these two together, and then we will see that how we can find out the average. So if we go for the IDE again, and here you can notice that we have this thing. Let's just copy this from here, paste it over here, and copy this from here for the 5th one and paste it over here as well. Now what we have to do is, for the key, we will be using x of 3 and x of 3, because in both of these notation they are using the x of 3, because we actually want to group, we want to reduce on the basis of courses on the basis of this, so we have to make this thing as key. Then for the value, instead of just creating a single value, if we create a tuple here as well, and this will be the marks, and this will be the 1. Now if we just remove this from here, and I actually did the same thing in the previous video while we were working on the averages, and you can refer to that back again if you want to get a detailed analysis or detailed idea that why I am writing this thing in that notation. You will get the idea over there. So over here I am just creating it in that way that I get the marks and then I get the 1. So yeah, okay, this is a complete tuple again. So the key is this course name, and the value is this tuple. Inside this tuple, the first one contains the total marks achieved inside that course of that enrollment, and here we are just hard coding the 1. Now we have to actually write a way for combining these two together. So if we just go for writing RDD6 here and RDD6 here and RDD6 here as well, and then if we just go for collecting that to check that what we are getting over here, and hopefully we will get the name of the course and we will get this tuple. So let's just copy this from here and paste it inside the subline. Now again I am repeating, I will try to comprehend the same thing. We will try to check that what are the transformations we need to get the average out. Okay, now what we will do, when we will apply reduce by key on it, it will simply go for all the rows that have the DB as a key, and it will take it out, and it will simply create a group of it. Then we have to simply write a lambda function that will take x comma y as an input. So over here we know that for the first iteration the x value will be this thing, okay, the x value will be this thing, and the y value over here will be the next value, which is 29 and 1. Now what we have to do, we just have to simply write our reducer that will do the same thing that the previous two lambda functions was doing. So here for the output, we want to get x of 0 plus it with y of 0, create it as the first value, and then for the second one we will take x of 1 and plus it with y of 1. And that's how firstly it will take this thing, sum them, and for the next iteration it will take this, then this, and eventually we will have a sum of all the marks, and we will have a sum of all the counts that are there inside the total enrollments that are available inside the course. So let's just take this from here, and again, if you are not getting this at the moment, please refer back to the previous video where we're working with the finding averages. Over there, I actually discussed these steps in much more detail. Now, we need to go for reduce by key. And for the lambda function, we will be using the same. And then if we just go for collect, you will notice that for the DB, we are getting a 9270 and the count we are getting 157. So if we just scroll up a bit, that for the DB, our total marks are 9270 and the total count of DB is 157. And that's actually what we are getting over here. You can actually cross check for all of these and you will get the same thing. Next is we have the total scores, we have the total enrollments. Now we just need to find out the average. So for that, again, if we go for reduce by key, and then if we go for map, and for the map we want to just take the lambda x, and it will provide us with the x of 0 as it is, because this is x of 0 and we want to get that. For the x of 1, we want to refer the x of 1 and it will provide us with this element. For this element, we want to refer the 0th, which is the total scores, and we want to divide it by the total enrollment. Collect that and let's just put this over here. Now if we just run that, it will provide us with the, okay, I guess we have to enclose that inside the tuple as well, and this and this. Okay, that should be 1. Perfect. So the reason why we are not getting the exact output before that, if we just go for RDD6.collect again, so you will notice that for the x of 1, we will be getting this stuff, which is here. And then for x of 1, we want to get the 0, which is the total marks. And then for x of 1, we want to get the 1, which is the total enrollments. I put the 0 over there, and that's why it just prompted us the 1. And here, if we go for 1, it will provide us with the average. So that's the course and that's the average of the course. One more thing I actually want to add over here is that the solution up till here is perfectly fine. We are successfully getting the averages of that. Now let's say if we just comment that out and we go for RDD6 and just display that, we will again get the same thing. We will get the total marks of that course and we will get the total enrollments inside that course. Now while working with in the previous videos, we discussed a function map values and we didn't explore it after that. And the reason for that is I just wanted to keep the things as simple and as easy for you as possible, because this is just the beginning of the Spark journey. Now, I think that we are pretty much at that level of our ease with the Spark that we can explore some new functions. So now if we just go for map values, now what map values will do? Map values will by default provide you with all the values that are present inside this key value pair. Now for this RDD6, we have a tuple of key value pair and the key is DB and the value is this thing. Again, we have this key and we have the value which is a tuple. Now what map values will do, map values will actually provide you a functionality that will take this thing, provide you with the value, no matter whether it's a tuple or a single value or anything else, it will provide us with that value. And after getting that value, we can simply do anything with that with a lambda function, and this will be mapped over here. So what I'm saying is that if I go for lambda x, so for the first iteration, the x will be this thing. And whatever I will do with that x will be mapped at this value. Now, if I just go for returning my name, hit enter, and actually I need to collect that as well. So you notice that it actually took the value and it mapped the value to the simple my name. And then if I just go for going, let's say x of 0 and x of 1, and let's say just for developing the, okay, let's just make it simple. Now if we just run that again, and okay, I guess we need to close that as well. Now if we just run that again, here we are getting the total scores, we are getting the total enrollments, and now if we just simply divide that, it will provide us with the same output like we are getting over here. So map values, instead of over here, like the difference between these two statements is that over here this x is actually that complete key value pair that contains the key and contains the value, which is a tuple. And over here we are again creating a key value pair. We are mapping it to a new key value pair because it is providing us with the complete tuple. So we have to return a complete tuple, a complete key value pair again. On the other hand, at this point, here we are only getting the values and we are only returning or mapping the values. So that's the difference over here. We don't really need to go through the hustle of maintaining the shape and maintaining the keys again. It will do not, the next step, map values, won't manipulate anything with the keys. It will just provide you with the value, and whatever you will return will be mapped over here, that like just we saw while when I put my name here. So this is these are the two ways of doing that. The first one is this one, and the second one is the next one. So I hope that you are actually developing the understanding of transformations and how all of these key value pairs are working and how you can manipulate them to get out the required output. So this is pretty much it from this video. I will see you in the next video. Now we will try to figure out the minimum and maximum marks achieved per course. So for that, first we will again try to create a map of key value pair, and we will get the course name as the key and we will get the marks as the value. Then we will go for reduce by key for getting out a group of all the relevant cores, and then for the aggregation, instead of doing some aggregations or doing some addition, we will simply return the greater one, and for the minimum we will return the lesser one. Now if we just go for the IDE over here, and let's just make it 7, and here RDD 7 equals to RDD, and then RDD 7 dot collect. Perfect. Now first thing, we have to just simply create a mapper that will take a lambda function, and it will consider x as this list for the first iteration, then next, then next. Over here we just need to create a tuple. The key of the tuple would be the name of the course, which is, we can check from here, 0, 1, 2, 3. The third one is the name of the course, and the value will be integer casted x of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, x of 5. Then let's just collect that, and you will see that we will get the course and we get the marks. Next is, let's just save that inside the RDD 7 and go for RDD 7 dot reduce by key. Now what it will do, as we have discussed, it will simply create a group of all the rows that contains the relevant course because it's a key value pair. And then for the values, it will simply map those values inside this lambda function. So lambda x comma y, and now we just have to return x if x is greater than y, or else if x is not greater than y, we just need to return the y. So that's the simple if else expression that I explained earlier, and we are replicating the same thing over here. Now if we just collect that, it provided us the maximum marks that we gathered that is achieved inside a relevant course. Next is, let's just copy this thing from here, and actually let's just print this and copy this from here, paste it over here, and just replace this symbol. Now what it will do, it will return x if x is less than y, or otherwise it will return y. And then we are just collecting that and we are just printing it. So here the maximum marks achieved in DB is 98, minimum is 20, cloud 99, minimum is 20, same for the MVC, OOP and DSA. So that's how you figure out the minimum and the maximum marks, and that's pretty much simple. So I hope that you absorb this and you are comfortable working with the or finding the minimum and the maximum. So this is pretty much it from this video. In the next video, we will try to wind up the project. So I will see you in the next video. Now we are just about to wind up the project. So the last thing is that show the average age of male and female students. So again, this is a simple average question and we will be using the same technique, and for now I will not go in that much depth because we have actually repeated that quite a time now, and I really hope that you develop the understanding of it. So if we go for the IDE over here, and let's just mark it as number 8, and then RDD 8 equals to RDD, and then RDD 8 dot collect. Now we just simply need to write a mapper. Now what this mapper will do, it will create the X, it will consider the X, and it will return a key value pair. The key will be the gender. Here we can see that the 0 and 1, first one is the gender. So it will return key as gender, and then for the value, we will again create a tuple. We are doing exactly the same thing that we did over here. Now for the value, we want to create a tuple. The tuple would be, firstly, we have to get the ages. So we will refer to at x of 0, and then we just hard put a 1. Convert it into integer. Now what it will do, it will provide us with the key value pair over here, and the key will be this gender, and the value will again be a tuple that contains the total age, the actual age of the candidate, the student, and then the hard-coded 1. So if we just collect that over here, hopefully we will get the proper output. We are getting the gender of the student, and we are getting the marks, and then we are getting the age, and then we are getting the 1. Now let's just save that inside RDD 8 and remove this from here. Now refer to RDD 8 again. Now we will go for reduce by key, and for the reduce by key, it will create a group of all the males, it will create a group of all the females. Then for the values, we want to consider the lambda x and y. Then for x, first iteration x will be this thing and y will be this thing, and for the next second iteration, x will be the cumulation of this thing and the y will be this thing. Then for the next iteration, x will be cumulation of all these three and y will be this thing, like just like we did in the previous videos. So again, we have to return a tuple here. The tuple will actually contain the x of 0 plus y of 0 and x of 1 plus y of 1. Now what it will do, it will simply sum 28 with age, first age with second age, x of 0 with y of 0, and it will sum the count x1 with y1. And then if we just go for collect over here, it will provide us with the female, the count of females, and the total total age of the females, and then it provided us the total count of the female. Here it provided us with the total age of the males and then the total count of the males. Next thing what we have to do, you know it, we just need to go for writing another mapper, or if you want, you can just simply go for map values. I am actually going for map values here. So for the map values, it will take this group, this key value pair, and it will take this value over here. So what we have to do, we just have to write a lambda function x, and if we just go for returning again, if I just put some random text over here and give it a collect, you will notice that instead of getting the values, we will be getting AAA. And the actual, if we just put the x here again, we will actually get the same x which we are getting as a lambda. We are just portraying it over here. The main thing that we have to do, we have to refer to x of 0 and we have to divide it by x of 1. Now if we just give it a go, it will provide us the average age of female students and it provided us with the average age of male students. And this is pretty much it. If you want, we can actually do this by using a simple map again, and I'm not doing it that way. You can actually refer it over here if you want, like how we did this stuff over here. You can refer to that, and here I'm just using the map value. So this is pretty much it from this complete project, and I hope that it is very fruitful for you and you are actually getting the understanding of transformations and you are getting the understanding of Spark. So this is pretty much it from this video. I will see you in the next video.